In the flipped classroom, your instructor supports the classroom activities. You are now the coach, you're guiding them, and they're, actually doing the activities. And then in terms of analysis and evaluation,
Windows
and,
button
creation,
R.
you have homework or nothing
Windows press it
for
on
the
pressing down
traditional
press R.
classroom, whereas
Protocol mode.
for the flipped classroom, you now have student projects and presentations. Now, basically, what I've described is the content exploration from videos and recordings, content-rich websites, simulations and readings, and then they make meaning of the material by creating a student reflective podcast, or you can have them in class reflecting on the material that they have read. Then we have quizzes, blogging, online discussions. These are students participating in this stuff. So the teacher is just there to guide them. And then finally, they demonstrate and they apply by going into personalized projects, problem-based learning, experiments, presentations, and role plays. So before class, the traditional model has nothing because you're waiting for the students to come to your class so that they can get the notes from you. Whereas in the flipped classroom, you have the students do the reading, watch the lecture, come to your class prepared. During class, students now watch the lecturer give their lectures by writing it on the board or dictating it or what have you. Whereas flipped classroom would have the students now involved in discussions, in quizzes, and all of this is centered on the students, and it helps consolidate their understanding. And after class, the students will now consolidate their understanding in the traditional model. In the flipped model, they further consolidate their understanding, and then they prepare for the next class, by reading ahead and preparing for the next lecture. So the flipped classroom basically is undergirded by the concepts of active learning, student engagement, and hybrid course design. So what we've been doing lately with the pandemic is possibly just taking our content and just putting it on a learning management system, or just putting it on WhatsApp, for the students, without realizing that we need to change the mindset. We need to change the teacher's mindset. We need to change the student's mindset to think of doing instead of just listening and taking on the content that the teacher has for them. So we repurpose the use of your class time into a workshop. The students get to inquire, they get to test their skills, they get to interact with one another, and the function of the teacher is just now to function as their coaches, advisors, and they encourage students to inquire and and elaborate with that effort. So the traditional classroom uh, has the teacher as the center and the disseminator of the class. He's the sage on the stage. The children have to listen, and they have to try to understand him or her while she's speaking, and they have no time to reflect on what is being said, and they miss significant points because they're trying to transcribe the instructor's words. Whereas the blended classroom constitutes a role change for instructors. You're now a collaborator. You're now cooperating with the students because the students now own their own learning. When we first introduced this at Sanctum, the parents were afraid. I mean, we started the school with online, blended learning in mind. And the students were afraid, the teachers were afraid, and until they were trained in how this is actually supposed to work. So I mean, so when the pandemic came, it was just a matter of, what, we just switched 100% online, and just it was a seamless transition for the students and for the teachers. So you have to be prepared for this. And now that it's upon us, you have to work on the mindset of the teachers, so that, in fact, some teachers told me it cannot be done, because, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I tell them, this is how you do this is how you do that in a blended environment. So not only will this be helpful to the children, it's also helpful to the teacher, because now you have the total responsibility of the learning for the children.
nǹkan tó
You have
funny ni pé I can't
other
even
resources
mi mọ bó
that
ṣe ń lọ
you
sí
can tap
waiting
into
room yẹn.
and
I'm not
present
sure
to
there
the
is a waiting
students
room in.
to help them understand the concept.
Wọn kọ́
So the fifth classroom
they didn't
intentionally
prop up.
shifts the instruction to
I've
a
not seen them prop up.
learner-centered model. The learner is now responsible
Top
for
corner.
his or her own learning. And you could say, okay, what can a JS1 primary school student learn on his own? You'll be amazed. I mean, I was just in a pitch classroom
Kí
before
lorúkọ
I
mi ò rí
joined
bí o.
this meeting. The
What I
students
saw is layout,
they are in JS1,
food,
and they
turn
were
on
asked to
caption
pitch
setting,
their business.
report,
I was
and
I was
dance.
bored.
Mi ò rí.
I mean, they had good concepts, they had a good understanding of what entrepreneurship is, they had a good understanding of what they're supposed to know, what they're
Participant
supposed to
section.
find out
That's
from
àwọn
the
people, the
public.
people
I
yẹn.
mean, they have a good concept.
I have them now. See,
The PowerPoint that they presented
I
was
can't mi ò rí
colorful.
waiting rárá o.
I mean, it was amazing to me. And these are just JS1
Mi ò
students.
rí waiting.
So yes, the students
Favour.
have something in them, and this is an
Favour.
opportunity to draw it out of them, to be innovative about
There
it.
is no waiting. Please come
And
and help me to adjust this
the
thing.
fifth classroom puts more of the responsibility for learning
Maybe I
on the
accidentally.
students.
Okay.
Activities are student-led.
Why she's I
Communication
wanted to
among the
put it
students is enhanced.
take her off. She's not.
The
I'm missing the
fifth
slides.
classroom actually just helps to do a distinct shift in priority from merely covering the material to working towards the mastery of that material. And so technology just comes as a supplement, as a helper for the whole process. So it helps you capture your content. It helps you curate
Are you
content
able
for
to
the
admit
students so
any
that
of
they can
the
gather their
I
own
don't even see them.
resources. It helps you
Coming
to
up.
provide opportunities for discussion. You can poll them. They have polling tools, discussion tools, content creation tools. You can convey timely information with updates and announcements. You can provide immediate and anonymous feedback for teachers and students through quizzes and polls. You can, you can signal revision points, through all other, technical or technologically based tools. Capture data from for example, your data analytics. Who is weak, who is at risk, which concepts are they getting the most out of, which ones are they struggling with. All of these are made possible with the use of technology. So the flipped classroom has really grown in popularity because it increases student engagement, it leverages technology, it provides greater opportunity for active learning in class. Now, I wouldn't be a teacher if I don't show you how this would be different from a traditional classroom to a flipped learning classroom in the way you prepare your lesson plan. So all items are numbered, and have numbers. The number one is, you have your week. If you're a Lagos State teacher, this is familiar to you. This is the Lagos State plan for English studies, for example. So for the week third week of the term. It falls on 8th of October. The class is JSS 1. The subject is English Studies. Lesson is outlining the differences between descriptive essays and narrative essays. And the teacher has spelled out the periods, the duration.
Yes.
We have our learning objectives. You identify a narrative essay, identify a descriptive essay, identify the features of narrative, and identify the features of a descriptive essay. You have a key vocabulary, 11, the resources and materials.
Okay.
Note that here,
Okay, you
we
just
told the
click on the
students
join the
to,
meeting,
they
and then
just gave the
when
information on
click on
what is
join
going
the
to be
meeting,
read, the book, the
then the
pages,
notification will
and
come here. It is
nothing
only
else.
when we see
And
notification
then
here that we can admit.
during background, they said students have been introduced to types of
I don't
essays
even know.
from the previous
Even for
class.
me too, I don't even
And
know,
then they give a
because I've
little
just been disturbed because a
narration
lot of
of
people want to
what
come here and I cannot even admit because
narrative
I
essays
need to
and
see
descriptive
a
essays
notification on the
are.
screen saying
And then
admit.
for
That's
the
when I can
strategies,
admit.
they do the think, pair, share. The
There is no
teacher
code.
gives two formats
That's
of
just
essay
it's just the link, no code.
on the board, descriptive and narrative. Activity 1,
Maybe
students
maybe
observe the
next
two
I will
models.
need to be
Now
generating
remember, this
code.
is the
I
first
don't
time
know
they're
because
hearing
we
this
need. We,
about this
all
topic.
right.
They
I'll
have
keep
not read
trying. Yeah.
anything, they have not
Okay.
watched any videos, they're just getting it right now fresh. So the students will observe the two models, paying attention to their features. This is already given by the teacher. As the models are passed from group to group, questions are raised about the student. So we get to the question and answer that I showed you earlier. And then teachers answers their questions and corrects the students. Then the teacher highlights the features for the students to see and learn. So, and then we have a table that shows the differences between descriptive and narrative. And then assessment and evaluation, the wrap up, the assignment. We're now giving them the assignment to write a composition on a day I will never forget, or to write a descriptive essay on my favorite food and submit next week. And so we have the HOD and the vice principal's comment, goes on there. Now, the the blended learning takes the items 1 through 11 as it was given to us before. But item 12 is now different. Whereas we're referring back to what we had taught them before on narrative essays and descriptive essays, this one refers them uh, to their previous lessons, so that, I mean, before we said students have already been given lessons on types of essays. But here we're saying refer to your previous lessons on types of essays. That is because it has been reposited somewhere for the students to be able to access it. And so we now say content. Read pages 31, 51, and 91. Before, we just gave them the information. Nothing, there was nothing they needed to do with it. But now we're saying we should read, uh, we should read pages 31, 51, and 91 of the English book. And then we give them a little narration. And then we get to our strategies to pair and share. And we now give them learner-centered activities. And it must be completed prior to the lesson. So in your readings and previous classes, you mentioned two formats of essays, descriptive and narrative. We now tell the students, before coming to class, now observe and list their distinguishing features. Remember, in the last one, the traditional pattern, the teacher already gave them the distinguishing features, So, but now we are telling them to identify those distinguishing features themselves, What is different about them? What features are the same? Prepare and share your answers in the discussion forum. So we introduced the discussion forum right then. So that is another thing that technology allows us to do. And then we told them, watch the following videos. Write down any questions you have. Share at least 2 of your questions on the discussion forum. Assignment: write a narrative composition on a day I will never forget, then write a descriptive essay on my favorite food to be shared in class this week. So we now have in-class activity. This is different from the learner-centered activity. So in the activity 1 for in-class, the children or the students will prepare to share their narrative and descriptive essays in class. They've already written it. So they have come now to show what they have written. The teacher may select random students to share. You could also be placed in a group of 3 to 5 students. Each student will discuss their observations, and a consensus list will be made and shared with the rest of the class. So you can see how the students are actually involved in the flipped learning model, whereas the traditional model just gives them the whole concept, hook, line, and sinker, no questions asked. And so then they now go on to their question and activity time, question and answer time. They address questions to their teachers. You give them additional information that they may have missed, and you summarize the features. And so you can see clearly that this model, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as blended learning is concerned, that students are are integrated, and they're actively involved in the teaching and learning. And it may seem that the children can't get this, but we all know. From day one, first term, my JS1 students are doing presentations on PowerPoint. They are preparing video for class. They are using, they're using outside information. You don't have all the time in the classroom. You don't have all the knowledge to share with the students on this subject. So you have to inculcate or bring in other resources, other lectures, other videos to help your classroom. And so I think that uh, this has been able to shed some light on what blended learning looks like, and how to prepare your students and your teachers for blended learning before you take it on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, ma.
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay.
Go on, Mr. Alani, you saying something.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Prof. Since
Okay.
you are on, please
Okay.
go on.
Well done, man. That was really, really very informative and detailed. But somebody that a question came in the chat box. Say flipped classroom, does it work with children in the nursery? How does it work with children in the nursery, the preschoolers?
Well, with the preschooler, what you have is, you would prepare whatever videos or learning resource that you have for them. Preferably one prepared for them by their teacher. And there are ways that Mr. Bush, your mic is open and feeding back the
Background.
the
Okay.
content. Yes.
Okay.
So what you do is it's better for the student's teacher whom they are they know and they are familiar with, to prepare the videos for their classes, so that they would watch the videos. There are games that you can also choose for these students. I have a 2-year-old around me that comes around, and she picks her mom's telephone, and she has her own games, so she knows where to go.
Mm.
And she was actually showing me the other day, how to play the games.
Mm.
So they know these things. They
Mm.
just need to be shown. You as the teacher will take them as if you're in the classroom. You will welcome them. You tell them to repeat something to you. And even though they're not there with you, but know that repeat back of videos, the use of games will be good for the nursery age students. You can send things home with for them on WhatsApp, so that they can see on their parents' phone, and they can learn and enjoy it.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. Any more questions for Prof? Prof, you are still with us, Ma, or you would need to?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll stay with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. That was really brilliant, and I'm sure that we have taken in some points, in helping us to really structure out, how to go about this blended learning, because that is where we are now, and that's what we need to do to be able to get our children engaged. We will be going straight to the panelist session. Prof is also part of the panel, so that we can take questions. We have some questions ready for our panelists, and then you can also put questions in the chat box. Write your questions there, and when it's time for you to also mute and ask question directly, we will also let you know that. So, Mr. Laniyan, please, can we get the panelists on? Mr. Laniyan, are you still on? Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm
Okay,
on.
please, let's get the panel discussion on. Let's get it started. Let's get started.
All right, all right.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get Mrs. Ojugo. I don't know. I think there is an issue, just the same way we experienced with Mrs. Lai Koike the other time. I think it has to do with saying they can't be admitted in or whatever. But since she's trying to see if he can come in, if not, like we did for Mrs. Lai Koike, we will also put a call through to her directly, so that we can get to hear what she had to say. Thank you. All right, Mr. Lanio.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adekogbe. I will put up the first question to Mrs. Osime. Mrs. Osime, are you here? Are you on?
Yes.
I'm on, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Osime. All right. I'm sure Prof did good justice to blended learning, but is there any area you think schools who have not or don't even have an idea of what this blended learning is all about? Is there something you can add to that to help them in preparation for resumption, or what they could do right now to help their children, their students learn effectively?
Okay, great. Prof, thank you so much for that. That was really thorough. I think the only way to go now for most schools is blended, actually. That's the only way to go. So a lot of the schools, because of the pandemic, because, if they even say come back after lockdown, how many parents, you worry that how many parents are going to release their children to come? And if they do release them, they might release them maybe come 2 days or 1 day. So we have to effectively put the blended learning in place. And that blended learning is working for us here in Global International College. Because what we can do is that blended learning is basically online with face-to-face. In fact, when we did a survey for our students, one of the things that they were generally not too happy about is the fact that they couldn't interact with their friends. So part of the process, so when you have an LMS, a learning management system that is just asynchronous. You know, some of the learning management systems that are going around, they're just asynchronous. There's no opportunity to interact with the teachers. That is not the best for the students. So the mix of the blended is that they can do the live videos, they can do face-to-face, and then they can go asynchronous if they want. So that's the best of both worlds. So I think most schools will definitely look at doing that, because that's what we're doing presently. It's just that the idea of the flipped classroom is, in fact, the most brilliant thing that could have ever happened to a Nigerian class. Because what we always say to our teachers is that we don't want you to come and start teaching the children. We want the children for themselves to be problem solvers. You know, in Nigeria now, the challenge we have is this rote learning. Everybody crams and then they give it back because they have to pass the exam. And you find people cheating because everything is about passing the exam. So they pass the exams, but when they get to the workplace, they cannot apply the knowledge. So what flipped classroom does is that it prepares the child to go and do a project, to go and work on the project at home. So when you come to the class, you teacher, you're just facilitating. So we are making them independent learners, which is brilliant, because that's what we want in the 21st century. You know, the old has gone. The traditional way of coming to class, teaching students, let them do the work themselves. In Global International College, for example, about 10 years ago, we started the school diploma with the Canadian teachers. And a lot of our students really saw that. They saw that they couldn't, after a while, they knew that that was the only way. And that was the way that, you know, we said to them, we cannot do it from Canada unless it's online. So we got into that online space about 10 years ago. So that's why it made it so easy. And anytime you ask my students about the Canadian curriculum, they said, wow, that what they learned is so much compared to YA. You know, because what they'll do is that they'll give you a topic, then they will give you project and project and project and project. So what the project does is that it cements and it builds on your knowledge, and you know that material so well. And that's why blended learning is so critical. Unfortunately for a lot of our students, like I said, the challenge with the curriculum is there because we have 18 subjects. You're saying, okay, 18 subjects. How on earth am I going to teach 18 subjects in that kind of space of time? So one of the things that we're doing as reformers is to talk to government. We cannot, now that we are in this space, that the pandemic has put us in this space, and everybody has to go online and do blended, they need to reduce the subject. You know, because can you imagine doing that? Even as parents said to us, please make sure your classes are over by 2 o'clock. The screen is hurting their eyes, data is expensive. So we have to do a whole holistic reform of the educational system, particularly with the curriculum, before we can even effectively do this blended learning. Because it's going to be too much work for the students, too much work for the children as well, the students and the teachers. But that's the way to go. You know, that's the way to go. We must be able to blend the learning. We must be able to do the flipped classroom. We must be able to mix it in such a way that if you're at home, in fact, it must be a way that I can even open up my classroom to other people in Nigeria. So anybody from the north can actually call in whilst my teacher is having a class. You know, that's what it means. That means you're opening it up to the whole of Nigeria. And then we can solve our out of school that way. So out of school children anywhere in the world can access high quality education if they have a laptop and listen on to the classroom. So in that way, you are opening up education and you are freeing and you are reducing the widening gap between the public school and the, so for example, I can say, okay, public school students, can you access us today? We're having physics, you know, so they can actually watch from wherever they are. And they're learning from, and that's what they do in university. So you can go to, in Harvard, you can be in a Harvard class whilst you're in Nigeria, for example, and you're listening to top professors. If you go to Khan Academy, they have so many professors from all over the world that's teaching you. So you have the perspective from different people. And that's why we need to open up our education to make sure our students get the best of both worlds. And then they have also the advantage of knowing what is happening in best practice all over the world. And Finland will tell you that.
I don't know what the problem is. I don't know, maybe it's network. I've not really seen any notification because I need to see a notification here to say admit or deny, and I've not. So I've actually been on the lookout, you know, to admit people. I don't know what the problem is.
Definitely solve that problem.
Maybe just keep trying.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Osime.
Okay.
You've said quite a lot. I will try to probably bring up some of those points.
Okay, Mr.
Yes,
Ranye,
please.
please. I'd like to say something, Mrs. Osime. The interesting thing about the subject and curriculum is so much about us in the private sector. You know, interestingly, the curriculum at the state level is 7 subjects. We are the one in the private sector that you try to multiply, extend, and begin to
No,
make
no,
this.
no.
It
No,
is.
it's
It is.
18 subjects.
No,
Because
it
the
is
way they
not
do it,
for the
it
primary.
is.
No, it's
No,
not.
not
It's
primary.
7.
I'm talking about secondary.
And at the secondary school, it is 9 it is 9 per student. You know, you take your major. It is 9 because on the long run, that's what they do at the final year. At
You
the
know what
final
they
year.
did? When they reviewed the curriculum,
Okay.
they had 3 thematic areas.
Okay.
I think one of them is security. They now put 3 subjects under that.
Security.
Because I
Yes.
reviewed it with my teachers, I was even trying to reduce it myself.
Exactly,
So they put 3
exactly, for the
subjects.
college,
So it
yes.
now looks like 9, but it's not actually 9.
Wow.
And they are testing on those 3 subjects under the 3 thematic areas. That's
Okay.
where the challenge is.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it becomes 18. They are tested on 18 subjects. When they
Wow.
get to SS1, they can now go the pathway science. Then
Oh
they have
yes.
7
Oh
subjects.
yes. Okay. At the
So they
junior.
can do
Okay.
art
Yes.
7, but for junior secondary school,
Okay.
in
You're
fact, we
right.
went into NERDC, we looked at it, and my teacher said you cannot reduce any of the subjects. They're going to test them on it. That is the biggest challenge we have with the
Okay.
curriculum.
Yes, I get it. I
Too
get
many
it. Nice.
subjects, and it's all rote learning, it's all theory, it's not application, so it's not really serving our students at all.
I get that at the junior secondary school level. Yes, I get
junior
it.
secondary
Yes,
school.
juniors, because I know that at the primary is not more than 7, 8, and at the senior secondary is that. But that you are right. At the junior secondary school, so much that the children are so distracted and they don't even know where. And by the time they get to senior secondary, we want to start placing them based on what they have not been grounded. You know, so it creates a
They
lot
don't
of
have the
problems
time.
because they have just
Like
been
I
taking
said,
a little bit of everything. You know, so that's
Like
right.
I said, with the Canadian curriculum, they will take one topic and they will give just one topic, maybe in 3 days, and they will give you activity, about 20 activities. So it actually reinforces your knowledge.
Learning.
So you actually understand it, and they make sure you do a project. So when you get outside, you can apply it. And that's the most important thing. Can we apply the knowledge? Can they make sure? Because this is 21st century.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Good. Can we have Mrs. Bankole? Mrs. Bankole, ma'am. Mrs. Bankole.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Can we have your take, what your understanding of rote learning, and what has it been in your school? Have you tried it? Have you been on it? What has it been?
You said rote learning or
I'm sorry,
learning?
blended learning, please. Sorry, blended learning.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, blended learning. I know Prof did a great job of explaining what it entails, what it requires, and of course, she even gave a couple of a lesson plan. It comes in my
Network. I think we have a network issue there.
She will soon come back.
She will come back.
I think she's trying to. Okay, we can switch to another person.
Okay.
While she comes back.
Mrs. Ronka Poch. Ronka Poch, Miss Adeni, how are you? Okay, yes, blended learning. What is it to you, and what have you done with it, or what is it? I mean, what's going on with it? What understanding do you have? How has it been?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so everything has been said already, so let it not seem like I'm regurgitating. I just want to add, because obviously my own specialty is the preschool. I love the preschool, I enjoy the preschool, and I know somebody asked about the preschool.
Yes.
So in terms of blended learning for the preschoolers, we piloted at Le Poche School before the COVID. So before it actually was announced in Nigeria, we even closed the school even before then, because I was a bit worried because we have a lot of expatriate babies here. So we piloted and we found out that video conferencing is not really great for engaging preschoolers. As wonderful as it may seem in terms of an idea, they don't know how to mute their mics. They don't know how to control the systems there, and they are usually too excited. They're very excited, so they see their friends. Oh, look at Paula, look at Emi, Fatima. They do all those things, and then it's rowdy. And then we have the network challenges as well in the country. So the video conference the class is just rowdy. So it's not too effective. But as we said, we have to do the synchronous and asynchronous when it comes to this online learning. So what we've done is that we started to create videos, video content. Now, we don't use YouTube. We don't use YouTube content because we had to give value to the parents because they can navigate. I mean, we have very tech-savvy parents here. They can go to YouTube and do their own thing. But nothing replaces the role of a teacher. If I show up for assembly or I show up at circle time, my parents are very, very excited. My children are very, very excited. Nothing, the price of a teacher has gone up at this particular point in time because they want to see their teachers and call their name. And they want their teachers to also call their names as often as they can in the videos. So we create the videos from scratch, even wearing costumes and doing all sorts of things that will engage the preschoolers. We create circle time also via we get circle time videos on a daily basis and send those ones as well. We also make sure that the lessons are activity based. So you can tell them, okay, we are talking about an island today. You create the island, tell them to go and create their own, and they can submit it. Now, my preschoolers, we have some of them that are submitting online because these children are digital native. I was surprised to see a 4-year-old uploading by themselves. I couldn't believe it. The parent had sent it to me. They can do it. So let's not assume that they cannot do it. These children are digital natives. There was and then when we talk about blended learning, the face-to-face interaction is there, but we also have to know that it can happen from anywhere. Another thing that was fascinating for me, that a mother said that she had to go somewhere. The child was doing the classwork on the back seat and was interacting with me on the back seat of the car. So it can happen anywhere. So on Fridays, we have, on Fridays with the preschoolers, for example, they do their exercise, they do sports on Friday. So they all come in their sportswear and we do it via Zoom. And it's exciting for them. It's already something that there's music and it's loud and whatever it is. So it's not disruptive in any way. So they catch up. Another thing for preschoolers is that we do not put a time pressure. It's grace before grades at this particular point in time. Not that we even grade them in the preschool level anyway, but we allow the flexibility because we understand that parents are also working and there's a lot going on. So even if they're submitting at 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we are fine with this as long as the child is learning at home. After that, we also have Zoom interactions where they get to talk to their friends and they do a revision of what they've learned so far during the week. So activity-based and flexibility really works for the preschoolers in terms of blended learning for us. I just wanted to shed some light on that. Every other thing that I would have normally said, it has already been said, so I won't repeat it. I hope it helps.
Okay, Ms. Adeniyi, please. For which, the ages, what age do you start with this? Is
Exactly.
it for,
That's what I wanted
is
to
it
ask.
from age 2, because, our regular school start from age 2, the play group. So how do you engage the age 2, from age 2?
Like I said, we do the videos and we make it activity based. So they still need the support of their parents.
Okay.
We do not have any baby in the creche. So our creche, we don't even want it, even if the parents want it at a particular point in time. So a 6, 9-month-old baby, no, nothing like that is happening here at the Posh. However, the children that have come to a level of awareness at different ages, some of them are more, they engage more and some of them not as much. So what we do is we make it activity based. So you can use a lot of filters on your phone. There's so many things that your phones can do. We do a lot of videos and we edit them and ensure that they are engaging with us. And they submit. So they submit via our virtual learning platform online. So even if it's a song that they're singing, even if it's head, shoulders, knees and toes, they are doing it. Touch your toes, touch your nose, show me your mouth. They are doing that and they're sending it back. So they're not spending the time, in front of the screen talking to me and say, where's your toe, touch your toe, and we're having this thing going on there. Sometimes we can just give the instruction. So we can do a slide and say, and it can have audio where we're telling the child, okay, if it's mental maths, for example, okay, those are 4 or 5-year-olds. So the smaller ones, for example, if they are doing colors or shapes, they just need to be able to identify it, and the parent is recording and telling us that the child is able to do it, so that we can track the progress and we know that the child is able to do it. So that's how we move. So not 2 little babies. So the 18 months and the likes, we are not engaging at this point in time. We, however, on a complementary basis, and we want them to see the teachers send stories and nice fluffy stuff so that they don't think we have forgotten them, because they're still our customers. So and they will grow up, only God knows when we get back to school. They will grow up and come and find us here. So we still want the continuity to happen.
Thank you. So it's really more of creativity, engaging.
Yes.
you know, we really need to think outside the box as educators, especially at that tender level. They need us to, because if we leave them behind now, by the time they get to the age, they wouldn't have gotten the basic skills they are required to before, you know, getting to the year classes. So we really need to carry them along. Thank you so much. Miss Bankole, are you back? Okay, she's not yet back. Okay, so okay, okay, Mr. Adeni, Mr. Laniyo, yes,
Yes, yes, please.
yes. Next question or something there.
Okay. The panelists, apart from Mrs. Bankole, have we engaged any other panelists? Let me check.
I think okay, yeah, except Mrs. Ojugo, and I'm going to put a call through to her when we are done, so that we'll just take her straight. I need to do one call to her so that she can make her contribution once. Okay, so let's.
I have a question. Can I answer it? I have a question that has popped up.
Okay, great. In the chat. Great. Yes.
Yes, I wanted to read it.
It was it has gone now, but what apps do I use to present the videos that we do? Okay. So we have a virtual learning environment that customized for our school, which we had before the COVID. Okay. But in addition to that, and what I tend to recommend, because I like this particular two, are Class Dojo and Seesaw. They are nice because you can do a lot of audio and videos and doodling for the children. So those are the two that we have in addition to our virtual learning environment.
All right. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ronke Posh, for that. The same person actually asked a question, so I'm going to direct that to Mrs. Osime. Mrs. Osime, I hope you are still with us.
Yes, she is.
Yes, the questioner asked, the merged curriculum in the primary are not well aligned because the foundational knowledge are not yet known to the pupils. Oh. So how do you merge computer education with basic science at the primary level? It is a concern you've raised, but now that we have it and the government have not yet provided a solution, how do we go about it?
I think Ronke should answer that.
Okay, at the primary level.
Okay, I wasn't clear about the question, please.
Okay,
I wasn't clear.
The merging.
Okay, let me come again. Let me come again. Let me come again, Mrs. Ronke.
Okay.
The merged curriculum in the primary are not well aligned. Okay, Mrs. Adekobe has said that some of those subjects have been merged into 7, for example, but they are not aligned because the foundational knowledge are not yet known to the pupils, because the teachers are not able to, bring out the skills for the children to learn. It is not relevant to their needs, as it were. So how do you merge some of these subjects, for example, computer education with basic science in the primary? So the question is about merging. How do you apply the concept of merging in this lockdown? Because you can't treat all the subjects.
Yes. So, say for example, the question is very convoluted, but I will try and answer it as much as I can. So I know that when people say that they do 18 subjects and the likes, it's not that they do 18 subjects. They might have, say for example, English can have spelling and creative writing, and it's not that they have 18, they created 18 subjects. It's just the way it's been placed on the timetable, and they use different books for them. So they have grammar as well for English. We have 4. So it's not 18. So when you're delivering these lessons online, we need to chunk them. We need to chunk the information that we're giving the children. You're not setting a 15-minute video lesson. You're saying whilst you might be with the class in the class with the child for 40-50 minutes, when you are online, you are doing it in, if they're older, you're doing it 10-15 minutes, and if they're younger, you're doing it in about 6 minutes, because they will lose concentration and they might even get bored. You have to be super creative for that to happen. Now, when you say there's no foundational knowledge, I'm not really sure, because I would really not teach what I don't think is relevant to the children. Say, for example, we blend the British and the Nigerian curriculum. There's some things that I've seen that I don't believe that I should be teaching my children, like typewriter and all those sort of things. I would rather make it history as opposed to something that is a current affair. So if I believe that it's relevant, so say for example, it doesn't say anywhere that we should be teaching our children how to code, but there's no child in our primary school in La Poche. It is mandatory that you code from year one. It is mandatory. So I believe that we must deliver what is 21st century. I believe that we must deliver what is important to our children at a particular point in time. I will not want to deliver anything that I don't believe is relevant and doesn't give them the right foundation that they need. So that's where the question was a bit complex for me, in terms of foundation. We should be teaching them what is foundational and carrying and building on top of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ronke. You've tried to answer our question.
Can I do can I add to it?
In fact, looking at the preschool, you know, there are basic or what the summary actually picked it. I'm just trying to make it a bit broad, explanatory to the questioner. So the subjects that are core, let's say English, math, and then science, every other subject revolve around those ones.
That's right.
So, like Mrs. Unika has said, is make sure that you find a base. You can't teach what is not relevant to the children. So even when you buy the textbook and you buy all the curriculum materials, you sieve them out to bring out the relevance to the children so that they can be creative and also go and influence their community with those relevance ideas you have taught them. That is what Mrs. Ronke Posh is trying to say. And I hope our question
I
has
just
got
got her
that right.
comment that the
Thank
question
you
has
very
not been
much.
answered. So if it's not been answered,
Wow.
then I don't understand the question.
Can I
That's
make
the
an
challenge.
input?
So
Can I
is
do
the
an
questioner,
input?
can you come again?
Can I make
Okay then, okay.
Can I make input here?
Yes, please.
Contribute? Yes. What she's trying to talk about in the merged subject of science, all sciences together. You know, in science you have physical and earth, you have computer and the rest. How does it work? I want to say it's about us, and it's because we've been having all of these subjects as single subject, and we have done so much and have so many textbooks to compress together. I mean, to take the children through. What is important, like I say, is the foundation. You know, what's the foundation for basic science in that basic science and technology? The subject now is basic science and technology. What should the children be learning? Because when we used to have basic science, we have physical and earth, and there were a lot of repeated topics that you will find here and there, and so they did a kind of reshuffling and then compress that when it appears here you don't need so whatever you need to learn in health is, if you have to, you are good with it in basic science. And for the computer, if you look at the national curriculum, each of these, even under basic science and technology, they have like three topics or so of what the children should be doing. But now at this time that we are, the computer science or the computer education we should be taking the children through is not just the part of computer as we used to do. It is actually the usage. How do we apply this computer, this technological concept to what we do now? So having computer science or computer education as a full subject now, it is not what we are talking about. It's the fact that the bit of what is assigned to that, let's do it in such a way and give the children the foundation for them to build on. You know, so in that we also have another subject area. There are so many other subjects that are merged together. But what is important, as far as I know, is the fact that take the little bit and do a lot of projects, a lot of activities. What this student really need is not 20 topics that we used to have, but as little as 5 topics and a lot of activities to drive home the content and help the children to have understanding. And that's what that we do. So it's not really anything. So because we started from that point of having them separated, and so we feel that because it's been separated before, it has to continuously be separated, but it can be merged. And as long as the main points, the foundational points are taken out, then let's begin to see how we work it out. Thank you.
I hope, Mrs. Durodola, I hope you are clear on that. All right. So it all boils down to having the government also come in. But before the government come in, like Mrs. Osime said, we have to do our part. We are educators. We are creative beings, and we should be able to adapt the curriculum and bring out the relevance there.
I don't know what the
So
problem
let
is. I don't know what
me
the
also
problem
go
is.
to
I've not
the prof.
seen any notification to admit. I
Prof,
don't know what. I'm
are
also
you still with us,
disturbed.
Prof?
I don't know what the problem. Huh? No. Yes. No. You're speaking with Mrs.
Prof
Adekobi.
Awoshika with us.
Same. I
He
don't know
is, but
what.
he's
I don't
muted.
know what the problem is.
Okay.
I don't know what the
Prof,
problem
please
is.
can you unmute yourself?
I don't know what the problem is. So because I've not.
Okay, but before
Yeah.
she does
Yes,
that,
on that. Yes, because
Mrs.
she's
Osime,
on. So but I don't know why
I'm sure you talked
people
about
are not
structure,
popping up to be admitted.
but let me
Because they're
put it
supposed to
this
be
way.
prop up and be admitted.
What of those
Since
structures
nobody, so there's no waiting room that I go
require,
to here. There's no
what
waiting
do we
room
require
to
in terms
Google
of
it. There's no waiting room to go to and
subject to
begin
do
to admit.
presently?
So it's just that people who are,
Textbook,
they
timetable,
just come up and
curriculum,
say,
teacher training.
ready
How
to
do
join,
we
admit or
put all of
deny.
this
And
together?
all I had to do is admit. So
What form of
maybe just keep
structure do we
trying it.
adopt at this time that will at least serve the purpose for the new normal?
Okay, I think one of the things that is very big now is content, digital content. So what a lot of schools are doing are they're moving their content
Indicated
onto
online.
the digital space. So if you have an LMS, you upload your content. So all your subjects are there. So what this does is that the students already have the material. That's why I'm saying the blended learning is the way to go. Because in class, if it was a physical class, the teacher comes, teaches that topic, and then goes on. But the students now have a whole term's information. And then on top of that also, teachers are recording their video, they have videos for their classes. So to reinforce the knowledge, so if you have children with different learning needs, you have the kinesthetic, you have the verbal, you have the
Visual.
what's the other one? That is special needs. They learn differently. Special needs students like visual. They like to see pictures. So with videos, they work well. So the structure is put the content online. Once you put the content online, you put it asynchronously in the LMS. They can, when you finish a class, the beauty about online is that when you finish a class, a student can text you and say, look, I didn't understand that part of it. And the teacher will say, why don't you go to your platform? And I have put a video there. So the video of the class I did, you can go over it again, over it. So that also reinforces. In the physical classroom, you don't have that kind of structure. So we need to move the digital content. And also we need to add videos. We also need to look at assessments. The beauty about online is that you can assess right there. You set up quizzes, you set up tests, and it marks the test. So you can give feedback. So instantaneously, they have feedback. And one of the things that this has done is to really help the teachers as well. Technology has allowed them to focus on what they're supposed to be doing rather than marking papers, marking text, doing reports, all of this administrative tasks that was taking too much of their time. So what it does is that has structured them. If you have a very good LMS, we use an LMS that is dynamic and is connected to Microsoft. That Microsoft opens up, the students have about 800 apps. So they can just go to town. In fact, about 12 midnight, I think I was watching Netflix 12 midnight. I saw them chatting on Teams. Aren't you supposed to be in bed? They're engaging. The beauty about this is that it's they're doing teamwork. They're collaborating. They are enjoying that space. And of course, a lot of them said to me, Ms. Osime, if I was in class, somebody would have come to nudge me. And they could have come to distract me. But when I'm on my own, I'm working, nobody's distracted. So I'm learning more. For example, we've completed the syllabus now. So now we're having exams next week. So it's been faster to do that. So an LMS makes you structured. Everything is there if you have a very good LMS. So it automatically gives you a structure immediately. And teachers can give feedback. And the parents are the ones, they sit beside their children. So we also know now that parents are watching us. Before in the physical class, they are not there. But the parents you won't see their face. But everything the teacher is teaching, they are listening to it. So our teachers have been exposed. There's no way they can hide now. So they have to give their best, because parents are valuing what they got, what they're getting from global now and saying, look, is this good? But they're giving us very good feedback. It's worked very well, in terms of at least structuring your classes. And for our teachers, it works. The technology is helping them so much. So I think it's a brilliant thing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Osime. The point now is that for each school and each educator to endeavor to meet up with at least this basic requirement of creating creative and interactive online content.
Yeah.
Like the prof has said, it is no more about bringing your notes to online from the beginning to the end. What did Kofi say? Kofi repeated this and that. Those those same way of face-to-face learning. No. They have to think critically and make sure that the content is interactive enough for the children to think critically and also go back and do their own projects. Fantastic. Mr. Dekobe,
Yes.
I've exhausted my questions. Prof is on now, so I don't know. Do you have any question for Prof?
Okay. For Prof Ma. Now
Yes, ma'am.
for schools now, some schools have probably not yet found their feet. So what would you have to say to them now?
Well, I know not all schools will be able to afford an LMS. And the best thing would be probably to start off with WhatsApp.
Okay.
Because it can be, you can put videos on it. It can be versatile. They can do discussions on it. So that would probably be the least that they can do for those children. If a school has a little bit of money, they could use Moodle, which is a free. It's free to use, but you have to pay somebody who knows the technology to install it for you.
Okay.
Yes, and basically the goal is to not let these children be without an education. Don't let them forget what they have learned. Continue to build on it. So WhatsApp is probably the best bet. And then in terms of how to prepare your notes and your content so that it's blended learning focus, you just have to find ways of learning online. There are certain online programs that you can take that will show you how to prepare your content, so that you're not just dumping what you had in the face-to-face onto an online learning platform.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. Now, Mrs. Bankole is back.
You.
Yes, ma. Mrs. Bankole, ma, are you back? Mrs. Bankole?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma.
Yeah.
This is part of it, this network.
In fact, that's a major part of it. Data, connectivity, network, and all of that.
So
it's a big challenge.
I don't know how we're going to do, what we're going to
learning.
do about that. God will help us.
Anyway, we won't get tired. We won't get discouraged either, because it's not all the time this happens. Maybe in a 30-minute class, they may have a disruption of like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. They have still learned something, which is quite important. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'd love you to talk to us here. So what blended learning, what's your understanding? Have you been practicing it? How has it been? What have you done with your materials, the content, subject, and everything? So let's hear what Banki's private school has done.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the break in transmission. Yeah, as I said, we were using Google Classroom for the high school students, and for those in the nursery and primary, we were using ClassDojo. The high school students, one of the things that prompted my insisting that the teachers should do a lot more with using online classes is, we were beginning to, at a point, to have children, when they get home, they are busy chatting, till late in the night, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. They are chatting and all of that. So I feel,
I don't know.
it's necessary
I've
for
not,
for the teachers
I don't know
to
what's the
also
problem,
rest
because you
and
need
do
to
less
prop up
work.
here for me to admit, and
In
I've
the
not
sense
even
that,
seen any prop up
which
at
is part
all.
of the benefits
I've
or
not
the
seen.
blessings of blended
When you
learning.
click on that
The
link,
teachers,
you will get to a point
when
and
they
you
are well
say join.
prepared,
When you
properly
join,
equipped,
it's
they
supposed,
do
I'm
less
supposed to
work
get a
on the long
notification
run.
that says
It's a lot
admit,
of stress at the beginning, but when they
but I'm
have their
not getting any
resources in place
notification at all.
and everything is well organized, over time,
I'm
they
not
do
getting
less
any
work.
notification to
In fact,
admit. I
I
don't know
do
if it
say
is
that
network,
blended
I don't know if it
learning
is a system, so I'm not
encourages
getting notification.
deployment of
That's
the
the main
four
one.
C's:
So I need to get your
creativity,
notification and
critical
admit. I
thinking,
mean, I still have enough
collaboration,
space.
and what's the other one? It's encourages a lot, that a lot. So teachers are not to give notes for students to copy from
I
the
still have
board.
space to admit people.
All
Yes.
notes are sent to
I still have
the
space to admit.
classrooms in the
Okay.
Google
All right.
Classroom. The students, when they get home, after listening in the class and getting, what the teachers have taught, they get back home because I still believe strongly in handwriting. I believe there is a powerful connection between writing and the brain, and of course the use of the fingers. So we still ask the students to get back home and copy their notes. Of course, I discourage voluminous copying of notes, and also to be able to lessen the number of textbooks and try to go paperless as much as possible. We were using the online a lot. So many information, even within the school system, the administration reaching out to teachers, teachers are sending their lesson plans and all of that. We were deploying that platform effectively. And then I want to say that blended learning requires a lot of training, which is different from the regular training that delivering the pedagogy that teachers are used to, because it's a different ball game entirely. But when teachers have a hang on it, it gives them peace of mind because they have their videos prepared. And I want to also appreciate what COVID-19 brought up, which gives opportunity for a lot of teachers to attend so many webinars online where they learned. Just yesterday on our own platform in FCT Labs, somebody dropped a website where teachers can get ready-made digital worksheets that even students or children in the nursery classes, the preschoolers, can just, whatever device they
Hello,
are
Anna, how
using,
are
if
you?
it is the laptop, they can use their mouse. If it is the
Okay, all right. What will
tablets
happen?
or the phones, they can use
One
their
of the
fingers
panelists is
to,
talking. As soon as she's done,
match
I'm
objects
going to
to
call
the
you back.
name, match pictures and things like that. So
You have not what?
the teachers, the preparation we had was, we did a lot of
No.
training
I
in
sent
how to
questions to you. It's
develop,
just the
on how to
questions. You
develop
answered those questions that I sent.
content that is effective,
No,
because we
not
don't just
all.
want them to,
I just
like
asked
Prof said,
few
and
out of yes.
I think
I
Mrs.
just throw
Bronke Posh
one or
also
two
mentioned
questions to you,
something
and then you
along that
can
line.
tell
It's
us
not
all
just
that you
about
have to say.
dumping the
About
usual
the blended learning and
textbook
how it
content on
operates
the
in your
children or the
school and so on.
students for them to just read and go. It is about making their
Yes,
learning
I did.
engaging, giving them activities that they will also go back home
All right.
and think
Okay.
through, and
All right.
coming up with worksheets, video content, with emphasis on encouraging not encouraging the children to go wild online as well, because we also do a lot. In fact, in our ICT classes, computer classes, there's a way we alternate our lessons. They have lessons in the regular, what the curriculum says they should learn. Another time they have lessons on e-safety. It's like a weekly thing. Every child must learn something new about e-safety. Then the third week we do maybe coding, programming, and all of that. So all of these really helps the children, and it gives them a lot of wide view to different topics, different lessons, different concepts that they are going to learn. It makes engagement, because some of them, in the process of going through the notes the teacher sends or the videos the teachers have sent to them, they may have questions and say, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma, can you further expatiate on this and explain what you mean? this is what I discovered when I was trying to find out more about what you asked us to do and all of that. So it makes learning more engaging and, you know, to a large extent. And during COVID, we expanded it more because, of course, that's actually the only means of teaching and learning that we have. So we expanded more. We created, you know, the schedules for each class, and then the teachers have their content ready to deliver with a lot of supervision and monitoring. As Mrs. Osime said, you know, parents are also watching. So no teacher that is effective online will be, all teachers that are effective online usually are master teachers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma, for that. I want to put a call through to Mrs. Feyi Ojugo of Green Springs, the head of school, Green Springs in Lekki, so that she can also share her thought with us. She couldn't join, I don't know, same issue that we had with Mrs. Koike. Hello, madam. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes. Are you on, ma? Good afternoon, yes, ma. All right. Yes.
Okay,
Can we have your thought, your understanding of blended learning concept, and how well have you been practicing or adopting in your school? Thank you. This is Mrs. Feyi Ojugo on the line. Okay. Yes, ma. You can speak on
Good
now.
afternoon, everybody. I apologize that I can't be physically in the meeting or virtually with you. I don't know what's going on, but I couldn't sign in. From what I know and from my experience, blended learning is an approach to education that is a mix of online educational materials, opportunities, and interactions, you know, for online learning. Mixing this with the traditional on-site teaching and learning, you know, in our usual brick and mortar or what we call a regular classrooms. So when we have a blend, a mix of these two approaches, you know, we term it blended learning. And at Green Springs School, I would say, of course, pre-COVID, we've always had a virtual learning environment. And what this offered our students is an opportunity to interact with online materials. Of course, we'll give homework, we'll give assignments for them to do during the week, weekends, and when we are on holiday. But we really didn't use it extensively for online interaction, for live lessons, for instance. But of course, with COVID and the disruptions it has brought, we had to navigate more and do a lot more with our online learning platforms. Over the past few weeks, we've used our virtual learning environment, we've used other online learning platforms to ensure that our students have very vibrant live lessons in addition to engaging with the materials. And of course, as we all know, not just education, every sector, every facet of life really will not be the same post-COVID-19. So I know definitely that blended learning has come to stay, and all of us as educators and as parents, indeed, we must embrace this new normal. So what we are doing is expanding our offerings. What we're also doing is training our colleagues and also seeing how we can support other teachers who are not necessarily Green Springs teachers, because at the end of the day, we must do what we can do to ensure that the Nigerian child is not left behind. So when we eventually, when I would say, definitely not, when we eventually resume school physically, it can never be just the usual teaching and learning in the physical classroom. It has to be a blend where we probably will be looking at Sundays for physical and some days will be complete online, or a situation where we can have physical lessons going on in school and some students, sort of joining the live stream, because again, we are aware of the fact that even when schools eventually open, some parents may not be very eager, I would say, or they may not jump into sending their children into a brick and mortar school immediately. So definitely all of us have to keep looking at how to have a good mix of the brick and mortar teaching and learning and continue to offer the online approach that we put in place over this period. I don't know if that answers the question, Mr. Adikobe.
Yes, it does. It does. It does. So you said something that really came out new there in the fact that you're training your teachers and also training the teachers that are not from Green Springs. So are you getting to do this? What platform are you using? And
Okay. So what we've always done is to encourage our teachers in line with our school motto. Teachers that make sure you are reaching out. But we started formally last week Saturday. So we've been thinking about it because one of the things we're supposed to do this year is our annual open house, where we have teachers coming physically to our school to see what we do and how we do it. But unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we had to cancel for this year. So we thought that, okay, we can't, it's impossible for us to have the physical visit that teachers would have had, but we still want to do this because this runs in our DNA. So we thought of a series of webinars to support teachers, and we have planned the open house webinar series. And we rolled out the first in that series last week Saturday, and we had several teachers from different parts of the country joining. We used the Zoom platform, and we had one of our teachers train on how to engage children in an online learning environment from starter to plenary. And it was a very, 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 very enriching experience. So we hope to do more of that in the next coming weeks. So teachers can watch out for that.
Thank you so much for your time. We sincerely appreciate this time. Thank you. God bless you, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Do we have any question for her? Do we have any question in the ask for Mrs. Ojugo? Any question for Mrs. Ojugo? All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Now, Mrs. Osimema. Yes. Something that came up from what Mr. Ojugo said was this idea of getting other educators. Also equipped for this because it's actually about the Nigerian child. It's actually about the Nigerian child, and the Nigerian child is not just in one school in Nigeria. The Nigerian child is in every school, both high and low fee and everything. Everybody all together. So what's the plan? What do we have in mind? To be able to reach out to these people, personnel who handles these children.
Okay, you are part of our group education reform innovation team, so you know that's what we're positioned to do. As reformers, what we're looking at is to be able to upload a lot of training for teachers at maybe not more than 2,500, per month that they can access training. So what we want to do is to make sure all the teachers, whether you're in public school or you're in private school, get access to high quality training, just like what Green Springs, Mrs. Ojugo has said, that Green Springs has opened up. So that's what we want to do with education reform. We have a lot of schools who are members of education reform team. So we are planning to roll that out. So best practice, because it's in our interest. It's in the interest of the education sector to get it right. There's a lot of competition out there. The tech people are giving us serious run for our money. So you're going to have an LMS who is out there, who is charging 25,000 a term, and parents are all, looking at that. But we know that a lot of the students, like I said, when they started the online, our students are dependent on teachers. The way we raise Nigerian students is that they are dependent on their teachers. There's that social connection. But the LMS that is being rolled out by the tech doesn't have that involvement, So that's why schools must show that they're still relevant. And schools must up their game. And that's why blended is very critical for schools, so that parents see that, okay, I'm not just, my child is not just going into an LMS asynchronously and just because a lot of them have complained to us that they don't like asynchronous because they're not used to it. A student that has been doing 5 years, 6 years of face-to-face and seeing his teacher, all of a sudden you tell him to bury himself in a laptop, and be doing the work. They don't have the discipline like that. They don't have the motivation either, because that's why we must blend, and it's in the interest of schools to really wake up and know that there is competition that is challenging what we're doing to bring in online as well as face-to-face. Both have to come together. That's the only way we can pace ourselves right now. So we have to train and we have to talk to each other.
Okay, okay, ma. When school resumes, now we know we are going to blend. So what's your structure? What's your idea of the way you structure the blending? The online and the
in terms of resumption, Lagos numbers are rising. It will be foolhardy, as far as I'm concerned, for government to say schools to resume, as far as I'm concerned. Because children, of course, have some kind of immunity. But what about the teachers? If a teacher gets it, then what do? We have to protect our staff. We have to protect our teachers. So I would say to parents, even if we have to resume, it must be limited physical time in class. Okay, like WAEC students, for example, they need to take their WAEC exam. We have a sixth form. A lot of the students are stuck now. They can't move to university. So the universities are looking and say, okay, we'll take your mock results. CIE exams, they've taken the mock results and they're going to grade. But how long are we going to do that? Because WAEC is not online. So there's a challenge. So WAEC, in Ghana now, they're doing their own WAEC because all their students have gone back to school. So for terminal exam classes, it might be worthwhile for them to come, and then you do the social distancing, spread everybody around. It's just come for those few weeks. So we don't want a crowded. I'm not even, it's a little bit worrisome because I don't want to have hypertension overnight because I'll be worried that somebody is contracting something because this thing is spiking in Lagos. So until we know that the numbers are going down, until the numbers start going down, that is when let us wait till September and see what's going to happen over the summer. And from there, we still do our online, strictly remote learning. And then by September, let us bring in the blended and tell parents you can let them be at home for 3 days. They can come to school for 3 days. And then you still do the social. With public schools, it's challenging. Some of the public schools have 100 kids in a class.
Absolutely.
So how are they going to do it? And then they're talking about, go outside on the grass. I think some people say, okay, that's what federal government said. And then do an isolation center. Hello. So those things are just not feasible.
They are not.
So we have to take our decision, individual school owners have to take a decision that is safety before money right now. We have to prioritize the lives of our staff, lives of our children, because if anything happens, you can imagine what Nigerian parents will do to school. So everybody has to be very smart when it comes to this,
Thank you so much, ma. And Mrs. Adeni, are you there? Miss Adeni. Okay, she's not.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh, good. Yes, in line with also carrying a lot of teachers that are not part of the Lepoch, community, because we have a lot of nursery primary schools than the secondary schools, and everybody practice and say they are this and they are that. But that aside, now, I mean, what are you doing? What plan? Have you done anything, or what do you have in the making for the general teachers out there? That's the preschoolers that are not, in the community of Lepoch. Any plan?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, we're connected to me online, and I'm always delivering free training. Every Sunday I come on and I always delivering free training. A lot of Nigerian teachers are on Ebenezer's platform, which is what is it called? CME. CME, and that's why I tend to laugh when I was on the Green Spring training thing last week. There were 100 and something teachers there. The Nigerian teacher doesn't want to learn. The average Nigerian teacher does not want to learn. There are just too many resources online. I'm drowning with free resources. I don't even think we need more free resources in my humble opinion. They just do not want to learn. They are afraid of technology, and it is here to stay. There's nothing anybody can do about it. They just need to embrace it or lose the children. I was surprised that we had registrations during this COVID. I didn't, as much as I had foresight, I did not believe anybody would join the school during this COVID. So I have children in the school I've not physically seen in my life, and they are online. Why? Because the schools are not sitting up. If you don't sit up, somebody will take your children.
Absolutely.
So in terms of delivering training, Training is going on every day. Ebenezer delivers training to 15,000 teachers almost every other day, free of charge. So free that in fact one day my heart was just going out. I had to send him 20,000 naira worth of credits because he's doing it out of his own free will for the Nigerian teacher. They don't want to take it up. Google Classroom, he's doing it. Edmodo, he has done it. Name it. Bitmojis to make it creative. He is doing so much. Okay, I will share it. He is doing so much to ensure that teachers are learning. And he gives me feedback because he's close to me. He helped me set up my studio and many other things. I learned from him as well. You know, we need to learn from he's significantly younger than me, but it's not about age now. It's about learning. And this younger people, they really know this tech more than we do.
That's right.
So, I mean, I'm working with them. When they're doing anything, I join them. I have a YouTube studio, YouTube channel now where I'm delivering this COVID strategy still. And I'm going along with them. There are resources out there. People are sharing. I'm sharing. People are sharing. It's continuing. So I don't think the resources are not out there. It's the mindset of the teachers. Just like when before COVID, they did not want to go for training. If the school does not send them, they will not go for training. We are still having the same thing. The resources are, even Google, IBM, name it. They were all, I was tired of, I was sick of learning. As much as I love learning, I had to start filtering. I don't want to. Let me just, my phone is full. I have 128 gig phone plus 64 that came. I have an extra. It is full. I started using a Google link. It is full. After using that Google link, I had to buy more space. It is full. So information is out there.
Yes.
So teachers don't have to embrace it. They just have to want to do it. But guess what? They don't. They are praying, and this is what I was saying before COVID. They are praying that God forbid, and God forbid it came. God forbid now, let it go before September. We are still where we are. So those that want to learn will learn, and those that don't want to learn, they will not learn. This COVID will separate the wheat from the chaff, and that's just it.
Oh my God, this is a serious and a hard one. This is a separation of the wheat from the tar, and it's a hard one, and it's really, really something. Mrs. Bankole in Abuja, anything, generally for all teachers that are not even, I know the NAPs are doing something. What about teachers in the public school? Is there a way that you're reaching them to?
Yes. In fact, we're having a training anyway, post-COVID training preparation towards reopening of schools and all of it. We just want to get ourselves ready for reopening anyway. And we're inviting 100 principals of public schools in FCT to join us. We're bringing in, of course, one of our former presidents in FCT NAPS is a medical doctor turned teacher. So she usually sits on the committee when it comes to health matters in FCT. But concerning the issue of training, except a teacher is not serious, there are too many trainings. But I paid to join CME, to join, what's that his name again?
Odetola,
yes, to attend, and the resources, just like Mrs. Adeni said, the resources are too many that a lazy teacher can even get. It's just that, like I said, online teaching. He said, if you're the children can easily fault a teacher that is not good. Even if you have all the fantastic content and resources, if you don't know how to pass it on, how to deploy it effectively. But there are a lot. I know that when the lockdown started in my school too, and I know so many schools are trying that as well. I invite, so many people are calling. So what are we doing? How do we go and all that? We organize trainings, but we were doing it on school basis. We organize online for schools. This is how to download Class Dojo. You, the proprietor or the principal, should actually be the super admin, so that you'll be able to oversee what's going on in the school, in each of the classes and all of that. A lot of trainings are going on everywhere. Sometimes I'm in some platforms where you have like 5,000 teachers, 1,000 teachers. Some of these trainings very, very free, as in free. And one thing I also try to, one website I always recommend for teachers is Edutopia.
Okay, yes, Edutopia.
From there, you connect with a lot of other sites, and you get to see resources on your lap. Pick it up, touch it up to suit what you want to pass on to the children, and you will see that you will have a fantastic class. The children will enjoy learning. They will want to even, you know, the learning will also be deep. They want to expand the learning. And as a teacher, you will enjoy teaching. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Something also a thought came to me sometimes, you know,
Thank you very
as an
much, Mrs.
academic.
Bankole.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Ms. Bankole. Yes.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
I got a thought ran through my mind sometimes. I was looking at co-curricular activity online. I don't know if you have thought of that. Co-curricular activity online, you know, because in every time we usually have that, there's always one activity or the other that we get to do. I don't know if it is cultural day, career day, you know, Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever. You know, is there a way we can you know, come out with something? You know, a thought came because I was actually discussing with a teacher and I said, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing regarding you know, an activity, so that it's not just the way let's make it really look like it's just the way it is. I don't know if there's anybody want to share any thoughts in that area. Co-curricular activity online.
Yeah, if I may come in, it's already going on.
Good.
The other day, someone shared out that they went on excursion in our school. She sent information to parents to say, I've not practiced that in my school anyway, but it's all over the place. It's something that if you are interested, you can get to do. Um, we are also looking at, we have this club we call Beads and Crafts Club. The lady used to come to the school, but what she did recently is she packaged all the things the children will need. Those that were having projects they were doing before, they had not finished, or they need more beads or things, she offered to drop in the school, and then, you know, the parents will pick it up in the school and the children continue their project at home. So it's possible. I mean, and it's actually ongoing. Some schools are creatively coming up with a lot of ideas on going on excursion while online. Mrs. Ronke Posh, you know, just shared that our children have sports online. During Children's Day, I was part of a group that organized more like the first Children's Day program that was held in FCT. The Minister of Women Affairs and all that, the Vice President's wife was on that platform. It was virtual. It was even a competition. It was like a 4 or 5 days program. The children, you know, were online wherever they were, from Lagos, from all over Nigeria. They were, you know, showcasing what they have to say concerning their view about Nigeria and children of Nigeria and all of that. And, you know, the competition was fair. There were questions that were asked, and, you know, winners were given, and everything was virtual, online. So very, very possible to have online co-curricular, extracurricular activities.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Yes. Okay. Can we have any more contribution on that? Prof, are you, Ms. Osime, Ms. Adeni, a word in that area, in that regard? Co-curricular online.
Wait, sorry. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Osime.
Ronka is speaking.
For co-curricular, it's very possible. The ballet, I mean, our ballet teacher, the subscription has not been high for them because of the money that is involved in it. Parents are trying to conserve money. However, you find that when they did a group, our collaboration is very important. Our ballet teacher did a class with other schools, and she had over 1,000 children, and they streamed it on Zoom and Instagram. So it can happen. The same thing with the violin. My daughter does violin lessons online. It is possible. There are piano apps as well that can also be done online. Even for languages, you have Duolingo and things like that, that they can learn languages online. With things like karate and the likes, because of space at home, it's a bit more challenging. And then supervision, because you don't want the child to be hurt, and then you have to take liability for that. But it's possible. Online now, all things are possible. People are having clubs online. People are, you know, doing all sorts of things. So I do not believe that there's really not much that we cannot do. Next week we have our graduation online, because we started on the 20th of April. We are done. So graduation is going to happen online. We had class party online when they shut down. children brought their food to Zoom and they were dancing and they want their costume. So really, you can act online. Their graduation, they will read poems, they will do things from their own homes. It's very, very possible. So it's just how creative that you are willing to be at this point in time. You can actually do it.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Simon. Yes, soft.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just
done.
going to, I was just going to add that we, at least when we resume, because we're graduating also online in July, so we're sort of winding down now. But we're going to introduce robotics and STEM online. Luckily, the LMS we use has that ingrained in it. They also have a virtual lab, because what is happening in technology is that it's embracing the whole school. So many things can be done online now to ensure the children have a whole education. Of course, all our extracurricular as well. We have what we call Alpha course, the Alpha Christian course. We used to do that physically, but we moved it online. So the children actually have access to biblical foundation, to not just leave them at home like that. So that has also moved online. Luckily, Alpha course itself has moved online. So a lot of the extracurricular we were doing in school, we're able to music, drama, cooking, and all of that. We've moved it online, for them to do so. That it feels like school. The important thing is once the parents see the value and they see there's no, there was a lot of hula baloo initially. Parents didn't want to pay, and the reason, and in fact, parents called me and said to me, Mr. Osman, we don't know what our school is doing, and this is how much they're asking for. So I said, okay, why don't you ask them? Because unfortunately, schools, we don't tell a good story all the time. We're a little bit insulated, but now this has brought us out. We don't have a choice. You need to tell a story about your school now because you're going to do digital marketing. It's not a question. They're not coming to your building. So we just finished a series of information session webinars, about 5 of them, because we do different courses, and we're inviting parents to come and see what we have to offer online. We have a dedicated website, which is Global College Online. It's dedicated for the online schools. We have another website for the mortar and brick, but we have a dedicated one that you can go into and you see what we're offering online. So in that way, we're able to offer, in fact, vocational skills. Luckily, we have quite a few partners, partner in Ireland, that they're doing vocational skills in so many courses. So we've added that as well, just to give the students as much, so in the physical classroom, they were so limited. When you come online, you must take advantage of everything online now to make sure that the students grab it. This is our biggest opportunity, and it's all about the children. As far as I'm concerned, yes, money is good and all of that, but what you're trying to do is to prepare a 21st century child, which was not possible. It wasn't possible when we were doing the physical, but it's now more possible. So schools are now moving practically everything online, and it's exciting. It's exciting. Although the only challenge is that we're still paying for our mortar and brick and paying. So, God will help us, because online now has become cheaper. Parents are struggling with jobs and all of that, so it's not easy for parents either. So,
So interesting. So that brings me to a question just come up now. Now, in terms of billing, in terms of billing online and brick and mortar, so what is it like? And then by the time everything is done, I know that everything will come to pass. This season will also come to pass, and we now go blended. So how will billing go for schools? Prof, do you have an answer for us? How will billing go?
God.
Or blended school? Now that somebody is being spent online, and then yes, it's cheaper, they're not here though. So what will happen to billing?
Can I say something,
Yes,
ma'am?
ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When we started Sanctum, we knew we were going to use blended learning.
Okay.
So we had already built that into our payment structure.
Okay.
So it was easier for us to do, because you already know that you are not paying for certain amenities. So when the pandemic hit, they just deducted like transportation, school meals, and our and then boarding, and our tuition remained just the same. So we're going to have to be realistic as schools. You can't charge the same thing that you're charging for face-to-face with an online school. It's not fair to the parents, and it's just not fair. I know I'm probably not speaking the language of an owner right now, but you have to put that into your strategy and your cost. And whatever it costs you, put however much on it, and that should be your bill for the school.
Thank you so much, man. This is hard. This is a hard one, but it's really true because parents will come and tell us, even when we do bills, you know what? They bring out list. Me, I don't want this. Yeah, yes, I don't want this. They will begin to, struck out items on the bill, and now they are like they're empowered. They like say this one, no, my child is not coming. No, this one, no. So we really need to be able to accommodate all of this and get prepared for this get prepared for the children, get prepared for the parents, get prepared for everything, so that when all of this ends, because it will end, it will not continue this way, it will end, so we can begin to find and feed properly and then be able to get on. Do we have any participant have a question? Any question that is not in the chat box? You want to mute?
No, there's no question. There's no question for now.
Okay. All
I
right.
think we've done a good job.
Okay.
It's over 2 hours now.
Okay. So this is a great, and I'm sincerely so appreciate you all, and you're going to give us your parting word. And I think something that came up here in this session is the LMS. I know there's been a lot of schools are doing LMS, and I think it's something that we also need to do something about too, to let people know what advantages do they have in LMS over just using apps and all of those stuff, and then how cheap, what kind of investment can go into it, how can they get it, not too expensive, and then the children be able to move on, so this is really very critical. Thank you so much. Yes, ma. Prof, ma. Parting word, ma. We are taking a lot of your time. Thank you so much for all that you're doing today. Yes, ma. Your parting word, ma.
Well, thank you so much for gathering us together, ma'am. This is very informative and very useful. My parting words is technology in schools is here to stay. And it's not just your average projector and whatever. It's actually what you use in letting the students get the content. Be masters of their own learning and enjoy it, because blended learning is enjoyable. And I hope that we all get on board.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Mrs. Osime.
Yes, thank you so much for this. I think very informative. And I think it's so important now that schools should take advantage of the benefits of remote learning now. We need to do the best we can in the circumstances we found ourselves. But what we are even finding is that it's a good thing, So I will advise schools. Prof had mentioned quite a few of the LMSs like Moodle, Blackboard. There are free LMSs that are there. We chose to pay for our own because we wanted more resources. And I was so excited when Ronke said one of our students, primary four, the 4-year-old, was
Yes,
already
4-year-old.
sharing, and yeah, I'm so excited because when they come to secondary school,
It's
we want
easy.
them grounded from early years. So when they come here, they're already familiar with computers and technology, and because they're digital natives. So it's exciting what's happening. I think we are now building the future of Nigeria properly for a 21st century Nigeria. For the future jobs that are going to come on us, because we're looking at jobs that we don't even know about. So I think it's a good thing that's happening, and I encourage everybody to stay in this space. Please get as much education. I've been educating myself for the last 6 weeks. I've learned so much. I go on webinars. I never stop going, and I never stop learning. I've learned a lot here too today. So thank you so much for having me, and God bless you all, everyone.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Mrs. Bankole. Mrs. Bankole, your parting word.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's been awesome listening to great educators in the room. Thank you for I've learned some new things as well, and that I'm going to practice. And I want to say that, of course, like was mentioned by all of us, it's an ongoing thing, and we cannot afford to stop it now, because whether there is COVID or not, even when COVID goes, we have seen that it actually helps whatever we are doing on site, I mean, face to face before now. It makes the teachers more skilled because we need to do more training for them. And it makes them, have ample time to do more things, more creative things for their learners. And it makes, of course, this is where our learners live, online. And so we need to make it more enjoyable and impactful for them. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adekope, and the team that put this together, and every panelist. It's been a worthwhile session. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Adeni.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for inviting me. I had fun. Like we've said, we have to be lifelong learners. But what is also important is that we must also collaborate at this time. When I share online, I get people telling me that, don't you know you can make money from what you're sharing? Can't you charge for it? You can charge money for this at this point in time. At this time, the country is in a very dire, we are in a terrible state. And people that can afford it can now send their children abroad online. When my daughter's school did not start in time, we're already considering other options. And you will lose your children if you don't go online to other schools. It's going to happen. We should try and share, because whatever we learn now in terms of technology, I tell you that in another 1-2 years, if not less, it will expire, because technology evolves. It's not going to stay. My daughter codes. She's a coder. She's a developer. And anything she's saying, she's learning. She's telling me that, Mommy, this is something else. This is something else. So whatever you think you've learned, don't think you've arrived. Just share it with other people, because there's another thing that will happen. And in my sharing, people keep telling me, oh, have you seen this wrong? They'll just send it to my WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever it is. Let's keep sharing. In sharing, we will get a candle that lights another fire another candle does not lose its fire. So please, let's keep on sharing. Let's not be afraid of sharing. Let's collaborate and help other schools so that we can all make it to the other side. Ms. Junkel has been telling us about schools that she's been saying that their banners and their boards have been taken away. It's not really fair if we can help at this point in time. We can even help teachers. If we collaborate, one ICT teacher can teach in 3 schools.
That's right.
Just from their home.
Yes.
We can collaborate. And it will cost less for all the schools.
That's right.
So let's share resources. Let's share teachers. Whatever we can share, so that nobody thinks at this time. Let every school get by as much as we can. Even the public schools. Let's try and reach out as much as we can. Sometimes when I want to share on Sundays, I'm tired. Sunday is my rest day, but I still go out and I share and I share. So please, let's continue to share and let's continue to learn, and God will bless every one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. So awesome. Mr. Pastor Duro Dolasa, do you have something to say, sir?
I really appreciate the everything that has been done today. Sincerely speaking, this is the most educative presentation in the recent time. I really thank all the panelists, organizer. God bless you. Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir. Mrs. Jane Abiola.
Thank you.
Can you unmute yourself? Unmute yourself. Do you have something to say? Unmute yourself. Okay, while she's doing that.
Then how do we apply this organization? Then put your KPI. Thank you. Then let's measure how it's done.
Hello, who is that? Yeah, can we have Mr. Julius
Okay,
Oluyege?
now out of time. I want to share.
Okay. Then what about mobile babe kids? Am I right? Nursery. They have something to say? Yes, ma.
Fidelia.
Yes, ma. Do you have something to say, ma?
I'm so
I
grateful
do. Good
for the
afternoon,
webinar,
Okay.
but
just want to
just
say
like
that this
I
session,
sent in the chat there, I'm having issue with my school in Enugu.
Wow. Okay. All right. So get to
From the teachers like this, Nana, I sent the link to them, but unfortunately, not even one person joined, and I'm still paying them. In fact,
salary.
I just told them that this month I'm not sure I'm going to pay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what will happen? Private
It's
chat
not
me
enough for parents to even.
after this
Okay.
time out, ma. Please talk to me. Private chat me and let's see what we can do, because we need to get them
Okay.
all on board. Whatever is it, we need to get them. You know,
Okay.
they are human beings too. You know, and then so please, ma, don't get tired. You know, we are all of us. We are in a situation that we never thought would happen, but we are here and we need to just navigate. Please private chat me and then let's see what we can do. Thank you so much. Yes, any
Okay.
other?
Thank you so much.
Yes. Is that who spoke now? Is that Nwoba?
this is
Nwoba Fidelia, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is more
more baby
babies?
kids.
Yes, baby
Yeah,
kids. Yes, are you
the
on, ma?
name is,
Okay,
yes, my name is Feishara Odulano,
okay, ma.
and I would say that this session has been very, very informative, very enlightening for me, and of course, the way forward is very learning. There's no point going back anymore.
Okay.
So it's just that, and like most of the speakers or the panelists have already said, collaboration is very, very key at this time. Nobody knows it all. So it's about all coming together, collaborating with one another, training the teachers, and of course, just getting on board is very, very important. And at the end of the day, it's the Nigerian child that is important, that is at the core of it all. So that is just our focus. Thank you very much for the session,
Thank you.
okay, and everyone that has put together this
Thank you, ma.
okay,
Jane
that
Abiola, are you,
that
ma?
Yeah,
Okay,
can you hear me now?
oh yes, very well. Yes.
Oh, very good. This seminar is really, really very rich. The blended learning, the new normal, starting from the speakers, Mrs. Osime, she did justice to what she discussed, that after the lockdown, we all need to put the blended learning together. Mrs. Posh, Mrs. Ronke Posh, wow, I really love it. Letting us to realize that even the little ones, we still have a lot they can still learn using the visual. The content has to be very rich. It means that teachers have to work, and like what they rightly said, parents, as we are teaching the learners, we're also teaching the parents, because they have time, they will be there to learn. Whatever we are doing in the classes that is hidden, now everything is in the open, so we have to do it and really do it very, very well. It's a good one, and I really learned from it, and I think I have a lot to go back and put in place.
Thank you so much. Do you have anybody again in the house? Anyone again in the house? Okay, if there is none, Mr. Julius Oluyege, are you on? Okay, it's not. Okay, if Mr. Julius is not on, what about Mercy Phillips, Titi Adeyemi, Mrs. Grace Agulo, Mr. Ahmed Yaya? Okay, if none, then Mr. Olaniyan, can you give us your parting words so that we can all take a break and rest?
Well, it's been quite an insightful session. I usually say I am of the belief that learning never ends. It's only the one who has given up the ghost that probably has stopped learning. Maybe we continue to learn in the hereafter anyway. So it's been a wonderful session. Special thanks to Mrs. Ostime, Prof. Awoshika, Mrs. Ronke Posh, Mrs. Bankole, all these resourceful educators. Space. They are very much reachable, which we can all profit from. So we want to thank them for availing themselves of this opportunity to share out of their river of knowledge and experience. And I'm sure this session has been very, very impactful for everyone. So we want to appreciate everybody and continue to stick with us with another series that will be coming up probably in a fortnight or so. And I want to thank my lead convener of this program, Mr. Adekobe. Thank you to you. God bless you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Let me rest my case here.
Thank you so much, Prof. Awochika. It is so awesome to have you here and share so much with us. Ms. Osime, wow, you are great. Thank you, Mrs. Bankole, Mrs. Adeni Ronke Poch, and all the participants.